Sometimes it feels like it's been a long time since we've spoken. Some days, some weeks, I really miss my radio family. And this was one of those weeks where it felt like a long week before I got back here. So I, Elaine Bartlett, who is speaking with you, the host of the Purple Portal that you are listening to, is so happy to be with you today. And if you feel like calling in or contacting me, because I think once again we're going to have a lot to share, the number is 321-806-3159. 321-806-3159. Or you can email me at purpleportal777@gmail.com. So I want to start off today, like I have been for the past few weeks, just giving a rather what would seem to be a generic message, but I'm finding that the message actually ties in with everything that I was about to speak of anyway, and or some of you absolutely, your soul was just hoping that that would be the message. So today, the message is all about freedom and allowing yourself to bloom and come out of your shell. The shell did serve you in the past. It actually protected you and your tender heart, but it's no longer needed. And as we can drop that casing, which has been, once you start tapping into the freedom vein of consciousness, the shell or the casing actually begins to feel almost like a straitjacket, like an energetic straitjacket. So the time has come for you to begin yourself to experience true freedom. This world and your spirit both need to let your light shine and to let your heart shine. Some of us have been afraid to let our light shine. I've often kidded in the past with great reverence for those who have had to be in the closet, but many of us have had the sensation that we've had to be in the closet. We can come out of the closet now, and we can shine. Now, somebody reminded me this past week, sometimes our light now shines so brightly that it actually has the sensation of blinding others. On the other hand, that same brilliant light can now hold itself very steady to light up the heart and the spirit of somebody else, perhaps someone who's lost heart, lost hope, and lost their sense of spirit. So you can do this now, kids. We can do it together. The big thing is, could we all please let the past be exactly that? It is the past. And simply be in the present moment. There is no moving forward. Just be in it. So let the protective shell drop. Let your heart be seen. It really is radiant and magnificent. And of course that means allowing others in. And I can be the first to say, I grew up timid and cautious because I sensed that people would misunderstand me, which they often have. And yet, as we allow others in, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but on a deeper level, I suspect we're going to be able to allow them in correctly with the right boundaries, and therefore, as we let them in, that sensation of the shining heart or becoming again what we are, the shining one, will absolutely fall into place very, very easily. So that's the message of the day, and I hope it's applicable to one and all, because I think freedom is our true nature, the sense of liberation. I believe that's at the core of us, and to have that been diminished or have us be deprived of it is probably one of the greatest atrocities that has happened in this paradigm known as Earth. So there we are on that. And from there, I'm going to move right into finishing up about Mother's Day. Yep, we had it. It's done. It's over. It was on Sunday. I would love if some of you would call in. I actually had one lovely gal up in the Northeast contact me on Mother's Day. And I kind of said to her, the energies are a little heavy today, so you might be moving slow and, a little bit like quicksand. Bam, this email comes back to me. Quicksand, no way. Tar, full on tar. Now that got me to think. And here's where I came with it, and I really would appreciate your input as well. I'm not so sure how these things like Mother's Day and Father's Day and so many of them, now to me, the sensation is they're contrived. I know that retailers need to make money. I know the greeting card businesses thrive on these things. On the other hand, I'd like to step up the greeting card world to have such greeting cards as today's the perfect day to love you, or today I'm not liking you so much, but I'm still going to be committed to loving you. But something other than this forced feed of let's love our mother. I thought one of the commandments was honor your mother and your father. It probably should have said no matter what, no matter who, no matter when. But I think that was the implied statement under it. And look it, not everybody's mom and dad were the poster card mom and dads of the world. So some of you may have had a pretty crummy Mother's Day, thinking about, I haven't spoken to my mother in 20 years. I don't even know who she is. I know who she is and I don't like her and I don't want to talk to her. All of that is well and good. However, if you can't love your mother or your father, and sometimes you just can't, what you get to do then is make sure you double up on loving yourself properly, fully, and with compassion. And you send the people who donated the proper ingredients to get you into a physical body. You have to know, if you don't know it by now, you chose them. This is all contractual before you take a body. So you can't be hemming and hawing that you made the wrong choice. It was the perfect choice for whatever experiences are required for your ultimate growth. So if you really didn't care for your mom, you're still getting the experience of maybe unconditional love or forgiveness or compassion or tolerance. And all of that great energy that you can't give her, begin to nurture yourself, because that's the frequency that the mother energy holds. Nurture you. And so, I don't know. I have a very loving son. He did honor me on Mother's Day. But I have to tell you, at some point, I actually pulled him aside and said, I'm sorry. I don't cotton to Mother's Day. I know you love me every day, and that's what counts. So maybe, I don't know, did anybody out there feel the same way? I don't want to put down Mother's Day. I just don't think it's as necessary. I think I felt manipulated in these past few years that some big force is saying that this must be on this day. And I'm becoming more and more sensitized to any format of manipulation, and it feels less and less good. So I'd like to be honored as a mother every day. My mom's passed on. I'd like to honor her every day. And I'm sure if you are all authentic, many of you feel, my mom and I didn't always have the ability to see eye to eye. And in this day and age, some of you now have several moms and stepmoms, and who knows who's your mom. So that's my 2 cents worth on Mother's Day. I appreciate the retailers needing to make money, the greeting card industry needing to have a reason to greet. I just kind of wish they'd be a little more creative and come up with other things that would make me giggle if I went into the card store and thought, yeah, there's the perfect card. I'm not really liking you today, but I still love you. I mean, that's got a little chuckle to it. And that opens the door to a conversation. So as we converse, I think that's an important thing. It's important to learn to speak up. Another girlfriend and I were chatting this morning about how difficult it is to have a meaningful conversation. And yet, as we practice in the little things, it will get easier and easier. And then those more challenging conversations, when it's time for them, they're not as difficult, or you don't avoid it altogether. Because when we avoid the conversation, here's the danger, which I know you stuff the emotion down. And that's hunky-dory for about a second. And then where did it land? It landed in your Achilles heel. So did it land in your lungs, which are already fragile because as a child you had whooping cough? Where's it going to land? And that's what I want you to be careful of. So courageously learn to speak up. We're still under the energy of, in Chinese, the wood snake. Now, it's a yin wood, which means it's softer. But wood says you do have an opinion. And that opinion is valid. It may not contain a whole lot of light, but it's valid for where you are now. So express your opinion. And if, once again, we would learn the expression of opinion, wow, that's a quantum leap forward for everyone. So, okay, we've got this month of snake. Not only is it a wood snake, the wood is actually fueling the fire energy of the year. So the challenge is you can go from low speed to high speed very, very quickly with your emotions, and they can be triggered in a way that you'll have regret. So understand the dynamics of these fantastic elements and how they either feed each other, because the correct feeding would be you have the energy and the impetus to speak up, versus you're not a raging fire that's out of control. So just watch how you're using the energy. You're free to call in. This is Elaine at 321-806-3159. I do want to tell you about an interesting predicament that I'm having with Amazon, in case some of you have been trying to find my book on either Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. The book, incidentally, is Prosperity Portal. And it's a lovely book, and everybody who has an opportunity to experience it, because it's not a read book, it's an experience book, I have wonderful feedback from it. But my friend Violet up in the Northeast said, Elaine, I Googled Amazon to get a little excerpt from your book, and yeah, the book is there, but it's a different author and a different picture. So quite frankly, I know I have to address this. Thankfully, she just told me yesterday. But